As we saw in the last episode, Ning had returned to her tribe. After she came back, her grandfather wanted to personally check her increased power and also test the weapons shown by Tang San. That is why he asks Ning to fight him directly. Soon after, a fight begins between Ning and her grandfather. Her grandfather was at rank 97, making him extremely powerful. During the fight, Ning starts using one hidden weapon after another. Each time, her grandfather struggles but still manages to block every single hidden weapon. However, Ning then releases her most impressive hidden weapon. This weapon is coated with poison, and because Tang San created this poison after deep research and study, it actually starts affecting her grandfather. Seeing this, Ning father scolds her, while her grandfather tries to heal himself. Ning feels extremely sad, thinking that she poisoned her own grandfather, and she begins to cry. But since her grandfather is rank 97, he quickly heals himself and recovers completely. Instead of being angry, he becomes very interested in Tang San's weapon. He then discusses this matter with his son, Ning father, and they decide that they want to buy many such weapons from Tang San and also bring Tang San into their clan. They want to recruit Tang San to strengthen their clan. Meanwhile, we see Tang San opening his eyes after meditation. Because he had absorbed both the cold and lava lakes, his body had become much stronger than before. His purple demon eye had also grown more powerful, which makes him very happy. Later, the three of them head toward class. On the way, Tang San talks to Oscar about Ning and Oscar finally admits that he loves her. While they are talking, news arrives that Tai Long's grandfather has come to challenge Tang San. Tang San immediately goes outside the school to meet him. Zivo quickly goes to Mr. Zhao so that he can help Tang San if things go wrong. Tai Long's grandfather threatens Tang San and says that if Tang San is truly strong, he must accept his challenge. If Tang San fails, he will be killed. The challenge is simple but dangerous. Tai Long's grandfather lights an incense stick, and Tang San must stand alive inside the ring until the incense burns out. If Tang San survives in proper condition, he wins. If he loses, he must join Tai Long's clan. Tang San counters by saying that if he wins, Tai Long's grandfather must join the Tang clan. The grandfather agrees, and the fight begins. When Mr. Zhao sees Tai Long's grandfather, he nervously explains that he once beat one of this man's disciples, and since then the grandfather had been chasing him to beat him up. He barely escaped and became a teacher at Shrek school to survive. Hearing this, everyone realizes how serious the situation is and silently watches Tang San's fight. During the battle, Tang San starts losing badly because the grandfather is extremely powerful and also a soul land master. Just when Tang San is about to be completely crushed, he summons his second martial soul, the hammer, and starts attacking with it. At that moment, Ning arrives with her father, who immediately steps in and stops the fight. Ning father is called Uncle Sword. Upon seeing Uncle Sword, Tai Long's grandfather bows respectfully. Uncle Sword is a king of one of the strongest tribes in Soul Land, so the grandfather lowers his head in respect. Uncle Sword meets Tang San, and Tai Long's grandfather suddenly asks Tang San if his father's name is Tang Hao. When Tang San says yes, the grandfather immediately bows deeply to him. It is revealed that Tang Hao is his master and a legendary warrior. Uncle Sword is also shocked upon hearing Tang Hao's name and looks at Tang San with disbelief. Later, both Tai Long's grandfather and Uncle Sword request a private meeting with Tang San. Tang San first goes to his room, changes clothes, and thinks about his father. At this point, he realizes that his father was definitely not an ordinary blacksmith. Tang San meets Tai Long's grandfather first. As soon as he enters, 3 people kneel before him. Tang San helps them up and asks them to call him Tang San, since he is still young. He then asks about his father. The grandfather tells him that Tang Hao was his master. Tang San shows them the last letter left by his father. After reading it, the grandfather breaks down in tears. The letter describes Tang Hao calling himself useless, which deeply pains the grandfather because he was completely devoted to his master. He tells Tang San that since Tang Hao never revealed the truth himself, they do not dare to expose his hidden past. All they can say is that Tang Hao was an extraordinary man. All 3 of them were once members of Tang Hao's clan. After Tang Hao disappeared, they settled in this city and formed their own tribe. Now that Tang San has arrived, he is the rightful owner of that tribe, which contains 217 soul masters who would give their lives at his command. After hearing this, Tang San helps the grandfather stand up, speaks with him a little longer, and then leaves to meet Uncle Sword. On the way, the grandfather warns Tang San that his tribe is not fully trustworthy and that many people doubt them. Tang San acknowledges the warning and leaves. Uncle Sword later meets with Ning and her grandfather. Uncle Sword admits that he originally wanted Tang San to join his tribe, but since Tang San is Tang Hao's son, it is no longer possible. However, he is extremely interested in Tang San's hidden weapons and offers to pay a huge price to learn how to make them. Tang San refuses, saying he cannot sell the method he developed through intense research. However, he proposes setting up a factory in Uncle Sword's city. where Tang San himself will personally handle the final step. Uncle Sword agrees and offers 10,000 gold coins per weapon. He orders 500 sets, immediately paying 50 million gold coins. After the deal, Tang San leaves. Uncle Sword and his father, Uncle Bone, discuss Tang Hao. They never expected Tang Hao to survive, nor did they expect his son to cultivate at such terrifying speed. Uncle Bone becomes worried, fearing that Tang San's future tribe might threaten Ning Rongrong's tribe. Uncle Sword remains calm, but Uncle Bone is deeply concerned. Tang San returns to his friends, who support him after the intense battle. When they learn that Tang San earned 50 million gold coins, they get extremely excited and surround him jokingly. That night, everyone goes to dinner. On the way, Oscar stops Ning Rongrong and proposes to her. Blushing, she accepts. Oscar happily promises that he will cultivate hard, become strong, and formally ask her father for marriage. Later, Uncle Sword comes to say goodbye to his daughter and tells her to study well with Tang San. Ning Rongrong happily runs to tell Oscar about her tribe's marriage rules, but after seeing him, she postpones the conversation, fearing the rules might scare him away. That night, all the students gather in a room to play games when Mr. Dai arrives. Everyone is thrilled to see him, and he hugs Tang San first. Oscar jokingly says he thought Mr. Dai would hug Catgirl first, making everyone laugh. Thanks to Tang San, Mr. Dai's rank has reached 43. Tang San then visits the Grandmaster and asks about his father. The Grandmaster reveals that he already knew Tang San was Tang Hao's son. Tang Hao had once visited the school and left behind a badge representing all major Soul Land clans. The Grandmaster explains that Tang Hao and his brother Tang Xiao were among the strongest Soul Land warriors. Without formal training, they reached rank 90 and even defeated 2 Grandmasters of the Martial Hall. However, the reason behind their conflict with Martial Hall remains unknown. Tang San feels emotional thinking about his father, but the Grandmaster assures him that Tang Hao never abandoned him and even secretly visited the school. He also reveals that the person who first beat Mr. Zhao might have been Tang Hao himself. This completely shocks Tang San. They then discuss Tang San's blue-silver plant martial soul, after which Tang San asks one final question. Why did both the Grandmaster and his father forbid him from adding a spirit ring to his hammer martial soul? The Grandmaster explains the reason behind this. He says that before Tang San, there were only 2 people in history who possessed dual martial souls. When the first person tried to add spirit rings to both martial souls, the 2 souls became unstable, and one day they completely exploded. The second person succeeded in doing so, but even then, adding spirit rings to both martial souls carries an extremely high risk. Tang San understands this explanation. After that, they both return to the office, where the Grandmaster tells Tang San that a contest will be held in a few days, and once the contest ends, all of them will graduate from Shrek School, meaning they will officially receive their degrees. Hearing this shocks Tang San, because he never imagined that the time he spent here would pass so quickly. They continue talking, and the Grandmaster tells him that teaching at Shrek School was only a small part of his life. What he will learn in the real world will be his true life lessons. The Grandmaster then motivates Tang San for the contest that will take place 6 months later, and Tang San feels fully prepared for it. However, Tang San is worried about Zivo. Everyone else took the herbs and increased their ranks, but Zivo did not take her herb. As a result, her rank is the lowest among them. Tang San believes that because of her low rank, Zivo may not be able to contribute much during the contest. After discussing this with the Grandmaster, he decides that in difficult matches, Zivo will not be included in the team. At that moment, we see Zivo standing outside, secretly listening to their conversation. Hearing Tang San's words makes her upset and irritated. Later that night, Tang San and Zivo go out for a walk together, but Zivo is still angry. She asks Tang San whether he thinks she is weak. Tang San laughs, which irritates her even more, and she challenges him to a fight, saying that they should prove it right now. They begin a friendly sparring match, and Zivo actually starts overpowering Tang San. To stop her, Tang San is forced to use his blue-silver plant, but Zivo easily dodges it as well. Eventually, both of them stop fighting and laugh. Tang San finally realizes that Zivo is extremely strong. During the fight, Zivo's hair gets messy. In a slightly romantic moment, she asks Tang San to comb her hair. However, Tang San tells her to go to sleep instead, saying her hair will get messy again anyway. This makes Zivo angry at first, but then she suddenly becomes emotional and hands him a comb. That comb once belonged to Zivo's mother, who used to comb Zivo's hair with it. It was the only keepsake Zivo had from her mother. The scene becomes deeply emotional. Tang San gently combs Zivo's hair, and Zivo remembers how her mother gifted her that comb and told her that when she finds her future lover, she should let him comb her hair. Today, Zivo is finally doing exactly that. The next day, all the students gather in the field. They are heading into the forest to hunt soul beasts. When Ning Rongrong notices Zivo's hair, she comments that it looks different today. Zivo blushes and looks toward Tang San. Oscar immediately understands what happened the previous night and starts teasing Tang San and Zivo. The group heads deeper into the forest, but they fail to find any soul beasts during the day. Because of this, they decide to set up camp and stay overnight. Since wild beasts could attack, someone needed to stay on patrol. Mr. Dai volunteers to guard first, while the others sleep in the camp. Zivo sleeps beside Tang San and begins remembering the time she has spent with him in the past. Outside, Mr. Dai and the Grandmaster are on guard. Mr. Dai realizes how exhausted the Grandmaster is and asks him to rest. The Grandmaster agrees and goes inside the camp. Everyone falls asleep, but after some time, Tang San hears Mr. Dai shouting. He rushes outside and sees a massive soul beast attacking Mr. Dai. Tang San immediately saves him. At that moment, Lady Arlong arrives and launches an attack on the beast. Lady Arlong is so powerful that the beast does not even get a chance to counterattack. Enraged, she uses her 7th soul ring, which manifests as a dragon. Using a 7th soul ring in this situation was completely unnecessary. It was like using a divine weapon to kill a bird. Tang San asks the Grandmaster why she reacted so fiercely. The Grandmaster explains that when he lay down beside her in the camp earlier, he started cursing his fate because Lady Arlong was nearby but not close to him. He imagined romantic moments, but then he unintentionally pushed her away again. Lady Arlong is still angry about this, and she is venting her anger on the beast. The beast then reveals its true form, becoming far more powerful. Even so, it is still no match for Lady Arlong. All the students are deeply impressed. Motu decides to absorb the soul ring from the defeated beast. The next morning, when everyone sees Motu meditating, they realize he has successfully obtained the soul ring. The dean helps him stabilize it through training. When Motu opens his eyes, he feels much stronger. Suddenly, Lady Arlong walks past them, still radiating intense anger. The terrifying aura around her frightens all the students. They continue deeper into the forest and discuss an important topic. If a very powerful soul beast is killed, but the person absorbing its spirit ring is too young, it can cause serious problems. However, if a soul beast willingly sacrifices itself and offers its spirit ring, then even a 30-year-old person can safely absorb the ring, no matter how powerful the beast was. As they move forward, they notice many animals fleeing in panic. Soon after, poisonous mist spreads through the area. Tang San immediately understands the danger. He gives everyone a pill that makes them immune to poison. Using his purple demon eye, he looks ahead and sees thousands of scorpion-type soul beasts, all extremely poisonous and powerful. This group is called the Pink Group, and their queen is known as Pink Lady. The male scorpion killed by Lady Arlong earlier was Pink Lady's husband, and now she has come for revenge. Although her poison is not instantly fatal, inhaling too much of it would cause death. Lady Arlong prepares to fight Pink Lady, but the Grandmaster stops her, warning her not to act recklessly. Since Tang San has the most knowledge about poison, the Grandmaster asks him what they should do. Tang San says the best option is to escape by flying. Everyone eats Oscar's flying sausages and takes off. Even then, Pink Lady manages to attack them. Lady Arlong descends to fight, slaughtering the scorpions. Pink Lady appears, and the Grandmaster sends Tang San and Motu forward. Tang San traps Pink Lady in his spider web, and Motu uses his 4th spirit ring to severely injure her. The Grandmaster then orders Oscar to kill Pink Lady so he can absorb the spirit ring. Oscar does so and begins absorbing it. Since Oscar belongs to the food branch, Ning Rongrong doubts whether he should absorb a poisonous spirit ring and questions the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster explains that food-type soul masters can never produce poison, no matter how toxic the spirit ring is. Instead, their soul power and skills transform, granting them stronger abilities and enhancing their sausages. Everyone is shocked, but Oscar suffers intense pain due to absorbing a ring from such an old and powerful beast. The Dean praises Motu's 4th spirit ring, and the Grandmaster adds that Motu is now even stronger than Mr. Dai. However, Motu still has weaknesses. His attack range and flight duration are limited. He will always need someone to restrain enemies before he can strike. Despite this, Motu's attacks are extremely powerful, and all the students are geniuses in their own fields. The Dean asks about training Tang San's 2nd martial soul. The Grandmaster explains that Tang San will only train it after reaching rank 80. He then reveals that after the contest, he will take Tang San to the sacred temple. Lady Arlong and the Dean are shocked by this revelation, but the Grandmaster insists it is necessary. Oscar finishes absorbing the ring and announces that his ability has increased by 5%, and anyone who eats his sausages will gain a 10% boost, allowing them to fight at 110% capacity. Everyone is thrilled and continues hunting soul beasts, as 3 students still need spirit rings. After searching for 2 days without success, Tang San suggests using a fragrance herb to lure soul beasts. The downside is that extremely powerful beasts may appear, but they have no other choice. Tang San sets the trap and releases the fragrance, attracting many soul beasts. He also sets a poison trap to weaken stronger beasts. He gives everyone special pills for poison immunity. Soon, a very powerful soul beast appears. Tang San traps it with his spider web, and Motu laughs, amazed at how easily they caught it. Suddenly, the beast breaks free and attacks Motu and Oscar. And with that intense moment, the episode ends.